Hello, 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 hello. I hope that we are all having the chillest possible day because today we are going right back in and we're doing forms again. I was having a little bit of a tussle with um, our streaming platform today. So if you can't hear me or see me, go ahead and give me a little fuss. I think it's probably working though. If you're watching this in the future, nothing happened. Everything was fine. Yeah, if you're watching the playback, don't worry about it. Cool. Today we have very minimal notes. I love minimal notes because minimal notes means we're going to dive right in. I'm going to do all of our housekeeping at the front of the class today instead of coming to do it at the end. Luckily, we have almost no notes to cover. Let's look at the review. And then what I'd like to do is do this backwards. We'll look at the review. We'll talk about the solo work we'd like you to do tomorrow. We'll look at the design a feature selection page, which we're going to ask you to do solo and ideally creatively. And then together, we'll work on building a game settings panel and see how far we can get through that. So our review is going to be super easy. Our review is just like, look, look, look. We covered a lot about styling forms incredibly quickly. Yesterday, we learned about when you want to style inputs, how you might want to add a visual error indicator, how you want to make sure your types are right. Oh, we learned about when you want to use appearance none for custom styles. And the answer is yes. Appearance none overrides the default styles for your inputs, a checkbox or a radio button that browsers will apply. And you only want to do this when you are ready to supply highly detailed information about how you actually want that to work. And we also learned about when we want to style special input types like date time local or color picker. And the answer to that was never. Not, not never, but we only really want to do those when our boss tells us to, if that's okay. So, just real fast, let's talk about what we're going to be looking at tomorrow so that when we start going into writing some code, we can just do that until we hit the top of the hour. Today, I get to chill out and code with you. Tomorrow, Carmen is doomed. Ha 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 ha. I'm going to be talking about CSS transforms, filters, and the box model. Y'all, remember when I told you that every single HTML element is a conceptual rectangle? These CSS concepts are going to hopefully really reinforce that. So for tomorrow, read, 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 read. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to have a whole bunch of reading to cover in our notes. So what I'm going to ask y'all to do individually, so the solo project, which you're going to want to look at over the next couple of days, is making a feature selection page. And here we've got a feature selection page for something that feels very computery. So we've got cloud storage, dedicated support, custom user themes. The thing I really want to stress to y'all is when you do your own project, I'd like to ask you to, you're absolutely correct. Be creative. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to make it a feature selection model for tech or for programming or a tech product. You could say, hey, here's a feature selection page for somebody ordering custom designed cakes. And here's one for a character cake. Here's one for a glitter cake. Ooh, maybe not glitter. So here, you're going to want to, let's get rid of our index and let's get rid of our preview because all we're, goodbye console. All we want to look at really fast is our user stories. H1 elements, div elements for the special class, label elements. Okay, we're gonna use checkboxes in this. Oh, I told you only use appearance none when you have to, and it looks like it's asking you. It's like, looks like it's gonna have to. Checkbox is checked. We're gonna, when the checkbox is checked, the background color should change. Okay. Oof, oof, oof. And this note, make sure to link your CSS file and your HTML. Feels like a very, very specific accusation, doesn't it? I wonder who forgets that. And here we've got our tests for what it's going to ask your tests to show as passing in order to get like a little tick mark credit for this. Cool. We're going to ask you to do this individually. And instead, what we're going to do together is work through this workshop. It's 16 steps, which is a temptation to be like, oh, it's going to be so fast. Oh, it's going to be great. I bet that this is going to be the one class that I have to work real hard not to cuss in. So right now our preview doesn't do a lot, so I'm going to move her way over. I'm going to move way over as well, so we can see. So all of our HTML boilerplate is written for us. And if you're using like a text editor or some types of code editor, they'll often give you this boilerplate. So really, really fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start building out our HTML. And we're going to do this kind of fast, just because we've done this a lot. Within our body, we're going to, oh heck, where are we? We're going to create a div element. And remember, we've gotten really explicit instructions to use a div here, but what do we usually want to do instead of a div whenever we can? Yeah, we want to use the most specific element we can. Here, maybe this isn't an article, maybe. This isn't a section. Oh, me saying that they're using their own boilerplates, oof, and calling it an Emacs. For folks who are not familiar with Emacs yet, this is a way to interact with your code, which can feel a little bit advanced at first. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. So yeah, Me's got a really good point. Me's like, hey, we would want the most semantically specific element possible. And you know what? This feels like this could be a header. Game settings feels like maybe a header. But the instructions say a div, and a div it will be. Ah, let's go to our next one. Right after each one, okay, we're going to create 4 label elements. And because y'all have caught me being lazy, like, oh, but Jess, we caught you being lazy yesterday. Don't worry about it. Really, any day you catch me, you're going to catch me being lazy. I'm going to write one out, the opening, closing label element, and then I'm going to copy and paste the next 3. Oh, inside each of our input. Okay, I lied. I'm going to write one out more completely. Inside our label element, I'm going to create an input element. And the input element is self-closing, yeah? And the type, oh, check it out. By default, it wants our type to be text. But me is asking, speaking of lazy, Jess, did I fix the Twitter thing on my website? I haven't yet because I am completely redoing my website. And I'm working on it. We've got a checkbox. Stunning. Okay. Blink, could you move, please, sir? Sorry, my most assertive cat is coming to say hello. And I'm going to format my code just to make this look a little easier. Blink, honey. Thank you, honey. All right. So after each of our input elements, give our labor elements the following text in order. Okay. So where's our, here we go, our first input. So we're inside label, first label one. We're inside the input. How's that feeling? Sound effects? Yep. Background music. Where's our label? So this is our first label closing. Let's format the document. That's as nice as you want to get formatted. I love it. Background music. Hard mode. And for those of you who play more games than me, maybe y'all are the kind of people who enjoy hard mode. And I am going to be absolutely delighted that there are a range of different people in the world because, hey, let's you set hard mode on our game. Couldn't be me. Okay, it looks like a sound effects text should come after the input element. Oh, after each input element. All right, all right. So we don't need that space here. Right after input element. Okay. We've got folks saying, sorry, they're late, and you are not late. The whole point of this is there's no early or late, there's no deadlines. The whole world is hard, and this is just a chill little time where we're getting through the material together. Everything's terrible, but this can't hurt us. All right, so this wanted our text to be after the checkbox. Everything's okay. Let's get some CSS. Our body, we're using a type selector, even though there's one body. We're gonna set our height. Oh, I'm gonna ask this real fast. The height is 100% viewport height. What does that mean? What does 100 viewport height mean? And we're gonna set our background color. Oh, heck. Background color with the American spelling. Oof. To this F0, 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 which is this pretty gray. I think it's a pretty gray. Yep, Mel, after my own heart, thank you. So when we say 100 VH, that is 100% of the user's viewport height. Everything's terrible. 3D's got me as well. So, hey, it's going to have the body element take up all of the visible viewport. Stunning. Perfect. Everything's difficult, but y'all got this no problem. Oh, sorry, we had a text align as well. You know what? Hiding that under the explainer. Our text align is going to be center. Again, American spelling. And this means it's going to go ahead and center that within the page. You got any of it? Nope. All right. Hey, stunning. So, the boot camp is free. Free Code Camp is free. I'm not your boss and I'm not your mama, so I can't tell y'all what to do. But if you like Free Code Camp, who makes our curriculum materials, is a registered nonprofit. Yeah. Don't ever spend money you don't have. And that's what I was going to say. I can't tell you what to do, but don't spend money you don't have. But if you go ahead and get a big fancy job after this, maybe if you thought it was useful, contributing some cash, throwing some cash to Free Code Camp could be a nice thing to do. But don't you spend money you don't have, please. Cool. That div we've got here is not very specific. We're going to set a class of settings card. We're going to check our code. Boop, boop, boop. Here, we're going to use the class selector. Oh, so this is a really good question. Somebody's asking, is it possible to get a big fancy job with just this certificate? It depends on the definition of fancy and what kind of job. Yeah. So just some HTML and just some CSS. Doing stuff like working with like email, doing, unless you've got some really good job leads, these days it would probably be pretty hard to go ahead and get a big fancy job just off doing this. Yeah. Oh gosh, and me saying, hey, it's really nice to donate to Free Code Camp if you feel like, if you've got extra cash. This is just if it's a good fit for y'all. I cannot presume to tell you how to spend your money. Oh, except it is mango season right now. So if y'all are fruit fans, so where are we going? Max width. If you did want to spend some money, getting yourself some nice mangoes is probably not a terrible idea. We're going to set our padding 2. 20 pixels. Okay. And now this border radius, I think we've seen this before, and this sort of curves things around a little bit. Hello, 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 team. My effusive apologies. I think I'm having a little bit of low-key, lightly stressful internet connection problems. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick up where we left off. Hello again. So here we go. We were just about to set a border radius. We're going to set that to 10 pixels. I think we've seen these before, and the border radius is going to give us a curve on that. Yeah. You know what? It's really, really fair to point out that when I'm saying, oh, if you happen to get a big fancy job after this course, I think these days with this job market, it is really hard for beginners to break into working in tech. And the big fancy jobs are harder and harder. Do you know what? While we're talking about jobs, Mal's making a really good point to say, hey, these days, those human relationships, so knowing somebody who can vouch for you, having worked on a project together, gets to be more and more important. So these days, having a really good portfolio, working on some open source projects together can be really, really good. So in our settings card selector, we're staying in and we're still setting the rules for this class. We're going to set the margin to auto. Okay. And this is going to evenly distribute the margin. That's okay. Yeah, folks in the chat are mentioning, oh, you know, a lot of the jobs now really want you to have some AI fluff. And yeah. Oh, do you know what? If you do open source work or volunteer work to get some experience to sort of show that you're ready for a job, do not forget. And I can't see backstage, but I know Edda's gonna like roll her eyes when I say this because I fuss at everyone all the time. Work you do for free, you still put on your resume, you still put on your CV. If you helped your sister make a website, you're still a freelance web developer. Just because you got paid in cakes or babysitting doesn't mean that work's not work. Where are we? We're going to set the margin to auto. We're going to set the text align here to left. Blink, you can't cuddle with my hand when I'm typing, please, sir. And this is going to go ahead and align stuff to the left. Let's check our code. Everything's terrible, but everything's okay. I don't know if y'all can see it. My worst cat is just trying to kiss and kiss and kiss. And he is. Has anybody ever heard the PEBCAT problem exists between chair and keyboard? It's a technical support term, and it's a really polite way to say user error. And I often say, let's add some rules for H1, that my cats are my problem between the chair and keyboard. We're going to set our text align to center. We'll get that American spelling again. We're going to keep going. We're going to, everything's fine. Step 8. So we want some spaces between our checkboxes and labels. So we're going to use the label type selector. Okay. And we're going to set the display here to block. We're actually going to spell block properly as well. And boom, that meant, so we used to be inline. We used to be boop, 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 putting all of these label elements next to each other. And here I say block. I want all of them to be on a new line, please. Thank you, Blink. Let's also set the margin to be 8 pixels for the top and bottom, and then auto for the left and right. Okay, oh, so that's gone ahead and giving us that spacing we really want to see. Finally, oh, we're going to set the cursor property to pointer just when it's on our label elements. So we'll check our code. We're halfway done. Everything's terrible, but this can't hurt us. Okay, so we're going to set a selector for the input. We're going to enlarge, we're going to make our checkboxes larger for bigger visibility. So we're going to put input. Remind me, was this a, well, let's just try it. Input type equals checkbox. I don't immediately remember the syntax here, so let's have a little bit of a play with that and see if this is what it wants. If it's not, let's try again. And folks in the chat are talking about applying for jobs and for folks who are with us in real time. You already know that, but if you're watching this later, just the vibes as we go. We're going to set the width to 20 pixels. And we're going to set the height as well. And pointing out that this is something literally I was fussing at someone about today. Applying for a job, the only thing it costs you is the time and the energy that you spend, but that's not free. Like, your time and your energy is a lot. Like, going out there and looking for junior roles right now is a lot. So we're also going to want to set the cursor to pointer. Okay, let's check our code. Yeah, okay, so input type equals checkbox. That's here. It's just me being silly, I think. Let's get rid of the space and check our code, and things continue to be okay. So we're going to remove the default. Oh, remember, I specifically told y'all, remember, where I was like, hey, you know when we want to use appearance none? Is you want to use appearance none when your boss tells you to. And here, weird. Okay. So first, when we set our appearance to none, it cleared everything. Nice. Why? So we've got a width of 20 pixels, we've got a height of 20 pixels, we got a cursor. Why can't I see this at all? So let's get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that again. And you saw that we've got these outlines and we've got a white background color as the default appearance for our checkboxes. When those go away, just like we learned yesterday, when you override appearance none, you need to make sure to add every single point back. So we need to add a border, and that border should be 2 pixels, solid, and then we've got the hex code, where are we, of F1BE. Oh, I like that, but F1BE 32. So not that pink color we had, but the yellow's fine, I guess. Let's check our code. Everything continues to be okay. Oh, actually, that's a really good point in the chat. Folks who remind me, we talked about this in the first couple of classes, but generally, are y'all learning for your own projects? Are you learning to reinforce stuff you're learning in perhaps a more formal course? Or y'all want to get a fancy job? Oh gosh, it looks like we've got a little bit of a delay on the screen share. How about I will just go super duper slow. Let me remove the screen share. Stretch, because stretching is somehow magically going to fix my internet connection. And let's put it back. We got folks who are learning for fun. Hell yes. Like, y'all would not believe me if I told you about the very, very silly classes I take just for the joy. So we're going to give them some more styling options. Let's take that checkbox and let's give it a little border radius. The same way we've got these rounded corners on the outside of our div container. Oh, the border radius, border. Y'all see why y'all see why I spend so much time copying and pasting, because the minute somebody is watching you type, it's real tempting to spell everything wrong, isn't it? Our background color, what is that our background color to? White. Not even doing a hex code. Nice. So okay. Oh, and now we're going to set a custom transition. Oh, cool. So folks are set. Obviously, there's no right answer here. So why people are learning. But some folks are like, hey, love learning new stuff. Or I want to do a little bit of freelance now. Or folks are just saying for interest. Yeah. So we've got a good mix of folks saying, we've got a couple folks saying they're in or near retirement and want to learn for fun. Some folks saying, oh, I want to do some freelance and then a fancy job someday. We've got folks supplementing university courses. Heck yeah. Oh, let's grab transition. And this is going to set a custom transition. This is going to do some custom behavior. So right now, yeah, it doesn't do anything special. It's all, and we're going to set to 0.3 seconds. The transition will happen over 0.3 seconds. Yeah. All right, we're going to test the vertical alignment property to middle. We can do that. Vertical align. We're going to set that to middle. Okay, and that's going to say, hey, where do we have our inline or inline block elements? How are we going to align those with surrounding text? And here we're saying, please just chunk them right in the middle. And so we've got a lot of folks saying, oh, you know, I'm going to do some volunteer work or freelance work. We'll definitely talk about this, but be careful. Y'all are real smart and y'all are way more savvy than me. But there's a ton of folks who out there who be like, oh, I have a startup idea. Come on and help me build it. And then I'll definitely give you some equity, some credit in the future profit. And yeah, it's possible for that to be a good deal, but yeah. So we're going to use a pseudo class selector. Well, thank you, Blank. Thank you for helping us do a pseudo class. So we're going to take our input type, our input element, only the ones that are checkbox type. And here, we're going to create a pseudo class where we're just adding, we're just adding rules for these these elements when they're checked. So we're going to set a background color. And we've got folks saying, do you know what? I'm the kind of person, they're the kind of person, not me, who's real good at getting pulled into fixing people's work and bad at getting paid for it. And whew, you know what? The minute I get, oh gosh, you know what? I was about to give you a bunch of opinions on that, but you see me spending all my time doing boot camps and working with people for free for the fun of it. So we're going to set a border color to this hex code with an E. I am probably the last person to ask for to give good advice for, hey, here's how you get paid instead of just, hey, this is great. So here, when this is clicked, we've set for our pseudo class here, thank you, Blank, is saying, hey, when this checkbox is checked, because remember, we removed the default styling from our checkbox. We've got to add that back in. And here we say, hey, when that checkbox is checked, change this border color to a darker yellow and give me a background color of this sort of carroty orange, the goldenrod orange. I'm gonna check our code. We've got two more. Okay, now our checkbox changes color when the user clicks them. We're gonna add a little bit more styling. Pseudo classes can be changed. Okay, so here we're gonna make a pseudo class to our pseudo class. Nice. It's gonna feel weird, so we'll just copy and paste it over. Blink, you gotta let me get the keyboard, please, sir. Thank you. You're a very, very dignified young man. We're gonna add checked, but we're also gonna say after. Okay. Now let's set some style rules for that. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna add a visual indicator inside it. Oh, and we're gonna add the character. Oh, let's add content. And I think you all did this with me, right? Where we ha ha ha. That's not working. So input type equals checkbox. Doop doop. A doop doop being the technical term. Then we've got the thank you blank. 2 colons. Checked after. Let's check our code. Yeah. Input checkbox checked after. I'm pretty sure this is what I put. Hang on. This is not the best use of y'all's time, but input type checkbox checked. Oh gosh, yes. When we chain those, it is 1 colon for checked, 2 for after. Thank you all. And now that we've done that, boom, we get that little checkbox. And you could. It's because of the way my monitor is set up, I can't see edit in the background. Just like, yes, yes. So please do know that this was me being a goofball while folks in the background were just like, Jess, come on, I can see it. It's hurting me. The same way all of y'all were as well. So in this, we're also going to set the display to block. Clock. Let's try that. And this means it's going to go ahead and whoop, take up the full length of the container when it can. And we're also going to set our text align to center. Oh, do you know what that means? So here, is that it? I'm gonna cut these. I'm gonna Control X on my computer. Oh, Lucy, that is a question. Hang on just a second. We're gonna come back to that. I also don't understand that. So here, I don't know if y'all can see, but that checkbox is the little check in that checkbox is like wonky. She's like, I don't right at the front of this. So what we're doing is we're adding CSS styling to say, hey, block. So put this in the middle of its parent element and align it in the center. Just 2 ways to say center, center. So we're gonna check because this should say 94% complete. And I'm gonna come back to your question, Lucy, because it's quite good. So we're also gonna set the font weight to bold. We're gonna make that checkbox font weight. We're gonna make that check character bold. I'm gonna change the color to white. Better contrast. And then we're gonna change our line height. Oh gosh. To 20 pixels. We're gonna check our code. Oh, we got the little, oh, so much dopamine off that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we got this real good question from Lucy, and I'm really excited because my question is, I have no idea. So I'm also not understanding what the pseudo element is after. And before works the same, huh? Hmm. I'm gonna grab this. And I'm literally just searching for that. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. The W3 specification. Y'all know this is a deep cut, huh? So I'm looking at the W3C specification for when to use this. And formatting objects. Okay. Before or after pseudo elements, specify the location of the content before or after an element's document tree. Okay. So I think that, yep. So this is Ed's really helpful point, which is like when we use this, what we're doing is creating a sort of virtual element. We're like, inject an element in here before or after the element. I think visually, let's try it. Visually, these feel the same, don't they? Yeah, that hella works. I think that this might, yeah, I think that this might be a little bit more about like this element once it exists might make more semantic sense to assistive technologies being sort of after instead of before. But that's my only guess for why we've done after instead of before. Yeah, I'm really sorry that my answer is visually. I also think it looks the same. Okay, Christine's saying, hey, can we take a look at how line height works in this checkbox? So yeah, let's take a look at, let's grab, let's grab the line height CSS property. We'll come back in here. And here we've got some information. We're always gonna get this is like, hey, how many browsers use it? Oh, these major browsers all have it in here. We've got Chromium-based browsers. Gosh, who's the wavy guy? Edge, which is Chromium-based, Firefox, and Safari. Okay. And it's been pretty available for about 10 years. This is setting the height of a line box in horizontal writing modes. Okay. So this is saying how much height the text will take up in an element. So let's come back here. Oh, wait, did I already share this to the chat? Before I, why am I rubbish? You know what? Not rubbish. Why am? Oh, thank you. You could tell Ed is backstage like, Jess, I got you. Jess, I got you. Let's come back here. We'll change this back to afters because we're only changing one thing at a time. And let's find our line height and let's change this. So let's make it 200 pixels and see what that feels like. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Let's make it 2 pixels and see if that does anything. Ooh, so this is showing us, hey, where is our line going to hit within this parent element? What about -2 pixels? Can we do that? Oh heck, come back, I was still doing that. Sorry, that's very mature, isn't it? Oh heck, come back. Let's give our line height again. And I don't want to keep messing around with line height. Let's say -10 pixels. So here, this is saying where in this element it's going to hit. -10, okay, 10 doesn't work. Okay, so we can't do negatives. Well, Mal says this better than I did. Like, hey, let's think of line height as determining the white space above and below the text elements. So yeah, where that alignment is going to hit relative to the parent and other elements around it. But I think determining the white space above and below the text element is not just very poetic, but probably the most frequent way you're going to use this. What does 100 pixels do? Oh, so 100, so you can barely see it. Can I embiggen this? Gosh. Sorry, I am recklessly wholesome with this gosh. I just want to see the preview, please. So I lied. So here we've zoomed way in, and I don't actually want the instructions, please. Here, our line height is 100 pixels, yeah? If we come back to the preview, we can barely see that 100 pixels is way on another line. And we've got some really useful design questions that you were saying, hey, the vertical alignment to this is a really good point. Actually, this didn't bother me until you just said this, and now this will bother me for the rest of my life. And Ulido's like, hey, do you know what I see is that the game settings and these they're not aligned really well. Like the vertical alignment of the option text compared to the checkboxes. Brr. I also don't I want the checkboxes to start on the same point as the game settings as well. Like, I these are stylistic concerns. But now that I've seen that, Ulido, thank you. I cannot unsee it. We are going to come right back here because I'm going to let y'all ask any other questions you might have. And I am so excited that we are done with CSS and forms. I think we've got some more stuff where we'll look at forms and it'll probably involve CSS again. And I hate to be a grump. One thing I'd really like to stress is I always struggle with forms and I always have to look up the syntax again and again and again. Even if I feel like I know it, I'm like, I just look this up. Y'all are definitely going to have different things where you're like, I'm good at this. This feels weird. This feels shaky. Please don't let me grumbling about forms hold you back. My effusive apologies. So I am going to hand you over vertically, digitally to Carmen tomorrow, where you're going to do a heck ton of theory. Don't forget that you're going to get the most out of this if you write your own notes and practice describing what some of these terms are to yourself. This is a good point. Mel's asking, hey, this next session feels like a lot. Is this just a general intro? A lot of these are. So things like, what's a CSS filter? Cool, we'll look at it. Well, I'm pushing this to Carmen, who's a much better teacher than I am, so it's for your own good. Just look at it really briefly and experiment with some of these in the Rothko painting. So I'm not sorry to be passing y'all over to an expert for filters, reset, transformed, but the Rothko painting project is actually really fun. Nope. I was about to continue to give you my opinions on what's fun and what's not, but I was just saying, please don't let my biases hold you back. I am going to go ahead and let y'all go for the day. You get Carmen tomorrow. Isn't that a joy? Carmen on Friday. I'm pretty sure it's me back on Monday. So I will see you all next week, but we will see you tomorrow. Bye, team.